everyone, and welcome to the 2300 Arena. You are now entering the Battle Zone. Our opening contest is one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Your referee, Pat Savino.
It is time to turn the heat up in the Battlegrounds. My name is Joe Dombrowski here at the historic, world-famous 2300 Arena in South Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. To kick things off, it has been red hot all day, literally and figuratively, and the action will reflect that.
Making his way to the ring at this time, hailing from Long Island, New York, weighing in at 192 pounds, VSK.
VSK, I believe, making his very first appearance here in the Battleground. Somebody who's been a 15-year pro, is one of those gentlemen that has been competing a little bit under the radar till recent years. We've seen him pop up at the NWA, Impact Wrestling, AEW Dark. VSK looking to prove he's on the high level of the rest of the athletes in the Battleground.
And his opponents.
And a lot of anticipation awaits the opponent.
Weighing in at 188 pounds from Venice, California, Brian Kendrick.
Brian Kendrick has a rich history, 22 years competing in this sport. He's been anywhere and everywhere you can think of, but Brian Kendrick has maybe hit a bit of a fork in that road. Kendrick has devoted a lot of his time to teaching, to mentoring, to helping the next generation, but Brian Kendrick has a little bit of doubt in his mind, or maybe some of his critics do. Can Brian Kendrick still compete at such a high level? Brian has come to one of the most competitive fields in all of the sport. He has come to one of the most famed arenas in front of a very, very demanding crowd to attempt to prove this, to attempt to reestablish himself. Kendrick has always been hard-working. He has always been dedicated. He's always been resilient. We've heard stories through the years of Brian Kendrick driving across country to make a flight to Japan and making himself throw up to stay awake. We've talked about and heard about Brian Kendrick driving across country for opportunities and looking to get his door in places like Ring of Honor and other top organizations. Kendrick now the side headlock takeover on VSK. And VSK is somebody who's had that journeyman mentality in his own right, and in many respects he has looked up to Brian Kendrick. When VSK was first entering professional wrestling, Brian Kendrick was a World Tag Team Champion, already an established competitor the world over. VSK has traveled in a lot of the similar footsteps that Brian Kendrick has. And this is almost a battle of not necessarily student and teacher, but certainly almost a generational battle. Hard slam by Kendrick. And VSK, looking to quicken the pace, drives the body weight down, gets a count of one. And Kendrick gets underneath VSK, and VSK able to tangle up Kendrick, and a takedown once again. The counter wrestling, center of the ring. Kendrick is cagey. He has been a coach, a trainer. He has been very active behind the scenes, particularly when it comes to the likes of cruiserweight wrestling, NXT, certainly you name it. Kendrick, oh man! A drop kick on the button by VSK. And Kendrick had nowhere to go. VSK told me earlier he's going to look to go through Brian Kendrick to prove that he, VSK, can hang on a high level. He almost literally went through Kendrick with that drop kick. VSK defensive counter as he hangs onto the ropes now a second time. Keeps himself balanced on the apron. VSK springs off the bottom rope and down across the knee. Brian Kendrick in a bad way. VSK looking pretty good so far. And it's taking a chance. The Tope Suicida connects. And VSK has come to South Philadelphia to show out in a big way. And Kendrick now responds in kind. The Pescado connects. A couple of high-risk maneuvers. Who will it favor? Who has the advantage? Right now it's Kendrick looking for sliced bread. Brian Kendrick hits sliced bread number 2. That'll do. No! A pet maneuver by Brian Kendrick for 2 decades. He's called it the greatest thing since sliced bread, but it wasn't enough to put VSK away. And I'm in shock, and I believe Brian Kendrick's in shock as well. He regroups. Grounds VSK, who comes back with a thrust kick. Kendrick dropped down across the knees. VSK gets a long 2 count. And how close can you be? Kendrick barely inched that shoulder off the canvas. What a generational battle this is. What a couple of men at a career crossroads can do. Nothing short of amazing as they give it their all here in this opening matchup. We are live across the world on Fight TV. Kendrick calls that Dr. Teeth. And into the kick, and Kendrick, another near fall. By the way, the Dr. Teeth, that's the band leader of the Muppets, from what I understand. The eccentric, quirky nature of Brian Kendrick, you never really know what's going to come out of his mind. But one thing is for sure, Brian Kendrick will hit you with something that you never thought you'd hear before, and that thrust kick certainly. So wait, slice spread number 2 for a second time. VSK caught him. Oh, Kendrick in a bad way. That fireman's carry into the death valley driver, but VSK couldn't put him away. More body-on-body contact needed on that pin attempt. That may have been the only thing that has kept Brian Kendrick in the game.
All right.
Now, VSK calls this the Dude Buster. If he can hit it, Kendrick had it scouted. VSK looking to put Kendrick away, but Kendrick, this matchup is so vital to him. This is not want to win. This is must win, maybe for both these men. And you can see the ferocity Kendrick is putting in every shot as VSK responds in kind. Another shot, a striking game. Tough to decide who it would favor, but at the moment it's Brian Kendrick, but VSK got the momentum. Neck breaker by VSK, and man, the longest 2 count yet. But still signs of life.
Just 2.
VSK even a little bit incredulous. Less than half a second away from defeating an idol. Someone VSK watched as a young child. Somebody that continued to be someone that VSK looked up to as he embarked on his pro wrestling career. And VSK is feeling like it's time to take a chance. Frog splash connects! Wait, Kendrick rolls over. Kendrick stacked the weight and nearly beat him. And now Kendrick, that bulldog choke. Notice all of the weight of Kendrick is up behind VSK, pushing back, cranking back on that neck, bridging up to crimp the neck further. VSK has very limited options, and they all hurt. Reaching for a rope, and Kendrick knows that, and he rolls through into the center of the ring. Brian Kendrick, the crossface. And VSK bridges back for 2. Kendrick at one point, over a year as WWE Tag Team Champion. But the standing Spanish Fly, Kendrick shifts the weight, and Brian Kendrick with a win.
Your winner of the match, Brian Kendrick.
Brian Kendrick came to South Philadelphia looking for a redemption story. Looking to prove he's not just a great teacher, but he can still get the job done in a competitive atmosphere with the lights on bright and the stakes very high. And with the world watching the 2300 arena, Brian Kendrick has found a way to slip by with a victory and a handshake. I don't think VSK has anything to be ashamed about. He fought his heart out, came so close in a myriad of occasions to downing a man he has looked up to for over a decade and a half. But it's Brian Kendrick on top for the victory. And you gotta believe this is not the last time we'll see him here in Battleground Championship Wrestling. And we're just getting started. It is a hot night. Stephen DeAngelis ready to bring us our next matchup. As, man, every match is a bona fide main event as far as I'm concerned.
Our next match is one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Your referee, John Rankin. Introducing first, weighing in at 206 pounds from Plainfield, New Jersey, Ray Chaz.
Well, here's a man that knows how to find himself in predicaments that maybe he doesn't belong in. Ray Chaz issued an open challenge at our last event here in the month of March. It was answered by 2 men, Rich Swann and Bull James. And I'll give credit to Ray Chaz, a national champion, amateur standout, competitor and coach. He found a way to get that victory. We saw Ray Chaz and Casey Navarro interrupt a matchup with Tony Nese and Buddy Matthews once upon a time.
And his opponent.
Most unique and unorthodox test for the man behind the Jazz tip of the day.
Making his way to the ring at this time, accompanied by Danny Moe, weighing in at 191 pounds. He wanders the streets at night, creeping while you're sleeping. This is the Neon Ninja. He is Facade.
The aerial arsonist has built up quite a resume across the world, not just here throughout the United States, but in countries as far away as India and Malaysia. Facade, a 16-year pro and counting. And he's a bit of an anomaly, man. You don't really see a lot of Neon Ninjas, but he's got that flash, he's got that sizzle, but he's got that stealth-like strategy in combat. As Facade, there you see it delivering his Facadograph as he tags the ringside fan sign. Should be interesting to see what Facade does here in the Battleground with Danny Moe by his side. Team Neon Blondes. Facade has competed all the way up and down Pennsylvania. Ray Jazz, a native of New Jersey. Every time I see Facade, he looks a little bit more cut, a little bit more toned. He's always working on his body, always diligently spending time in the gym, and certainly the dojos as well. You can see these warm-up exercises. It speaks to the neck strength. It speaks to the versatility that Facade brings to the table. But he's facing an NCAA All-American. He's facing a man that has a single season win record. A man that's been an academic All-American 3 times, 3.8 GPA, and Facade may not necessarily be the best when it comes to book learning. But Facade has an element of street smarts to him that may be unparalleled amongst at least the vast majority of this locker room. There's a go behind, that rear waistlock takeover by Ray Jazz. Ray Jazz is going to look to keep this thing to the mat. If it's on the ground, it favors Mr. Jazz. And we've seen Jazz hooking up with the likes of Bobby Fish, and we talked earlier about Buddy Matthews and Tony Nese. Certainly the outing Jazz had in March where he defeated Swan and James, biggest of his career, as Facade able to get 2. Facade is someone who is very quick and very unorthodox. He's so difficult to scout. Handful of hair. The official saw it, the official warning Ray Jazz. Those ever apparent dreadlocks of Facade can be a bit of a target. Waistlock again, but Facade counters that time. Able to hang on to the arm, hip lock takeover. And Ray Jazz is able to sidestep it again. Check out that balance. You don't see that just anywhere. Facade has trained in so many different disciplines of fighting styles. Open hand, overhead chop, double spring. Facade takes Jazz over. Facade, a 11th hour replacement for Ricky Reyes. We understand Reyes under the weather. We wish him well. And Ray Jazz had a great strategy there to elude Facade. Jazz put as much distance between his body and Facade's as he possibly could, and Facade lost some of the momentum. We're gonna build it back up. Neon Ninja was again looking to fly, and Ray Jazz just starts tucking tail and running. And now Ray Jazz is hiding behind Danny Moe. Unhand her. Ray Jazz took a moment to soak in his intelligence, and Facade makes him pay. Ray Jazz, maybe the last of his lineage at this point, as Facade springs off with a sidekick. We've seen moves like that a time or two before here in this building. And Facade making sure. Ahead of steam, and Facade crashes and burns. All that momentum behind him, and it only serves to blow up in his face. Ray Jazz wants a count out, a most unconventional way to win in this building, but certainly not unprecedented. And if I'm Danny Moe, I'm staying away from Ray Jazz because Ray Jazz wants this win. Ray Jazz is full of himself. Doesn't care how he gets it, and Fassad's body bounced. Absolutely bounced off that rig frame. It's where metal meets wood. There's no give there, and Jazz exploiting it. And the harder it is for Fassad to move, the more pain that rushes through this man's anatomy, the more that takes away from Fassad's offensive palette. And Jazz knows it. A horizontal Fassad is a vulnerable Fassad when you're Ray Jazz and you know how to hook people in countless submission moves and stretches. A very good suplex. Still, maybe not as good as Ray thought it was, but very good. I don't know if it's possible for Ray Jazz to meet the marks that he views himself at, but there's a count of 2. Fassad's opportunity is with distance. Oklahoma roll by Jazz. And in one motion, scoops Fassad up, dumps him with the back suplex. Nicely done. Will this be all? 2 count only. If Fassad can get this matchup back moving, get a quicker tempo, maybe near a rope, Fassad's got an opportunity, he's got an opening. But in this situation, it is all about Ray Jazz. Reverse chin lock stitched in. Damage done. Pressure to the carotid artery. Fassad wasn't going to stay in that very long. Under the clothesline, and man, you could feel that impact back here by the tech area. As Jazz caught Fassad flush with the back elbow. And Ray Jazz, 2 count only. He was made so many of his own opportunities, his own luck. He's forced himself into the spotlight, into the equation. Forced high level, high profile opponents to take note of him. And you can see that in many ways it's paid off. Jazz, soaking it in, yucking it up. And Fassad out of the way. Jazz was a speeding locomotive by that point. There was nothing he could do except eat either ring post or turnbuckle bolt. Fassad now building momentum. And the atomic drop to Ray Jazz. Right to the tailbone, and now inverted style. Fassad feeling it here. Matrix style counter. And caught Jazz with a high heel kick. Ray Jazz in a bad way. Fassad can feel that momentum swing. Fassad, variation, 2 count only, of a Michinoku driver. Almost reminiscent of his Arashikage driver. He's finished many people with. Has Fassad, but not a full-blown version of that move. Action presses on, but you can feel Fassad gain some advantage. Oh, Jazz. Ray Jazz hits the ropes and trips Fassad up. Northern Lights suplex, Jazz bridging with it. Jazz staying with his man, 2nd time, 2 count. No. And you can see the stunned shock on the face of Ray Jazz, but if you know the staying power of the Neon Ninja, the Aerosol Assassin, you know it's in that gas tank for Fassad. You know what he's made of. Oh, you can see the sweat fly on impact. And Jazz buries the head right to the midsection. And Basad stays a step ahead of Jazz, switches directions. Springboard side round kick connects. But notice Jazz, whether it's instinct or whether it's just sensing that tide turn, Jazz gets himself to the floor. Oh, wait a minute. Jazz has a chair. Eyeing up Danny Moe. She's done nothing wrong. But Danny Moe is fearless. She's going to stand up for herself. Watch Basad. Both feet to the chest. Jazz. Dazed. Basad. Can channel one of his heroes. Basad looking to go air sample with a twist. Memories of extreme nights past come alive in South Philadelphia. Basad looking hyper crush. Basad hooks the leg, but Jazz kicks out. Basad pulling out all stops. Basad was a young man watching many extreme battles here on television, pay-per-view, you name it. Basad can feel that extreme lifeblood in him as the Neon Ninja looking to soar coast to coast, but Jazz out of the way. And Basad had no one to land on. His tailbone absorbs all the impact. And Jazz, from the backside, the backslide, drives with the legs, and Ray Jazz, the opportunist, wins it.
Your winner of the match, Ray Jazz.
Ray Jazz, the victory. Skin of his teeth comes to mind. In that particular outing, it looked like Basad was well on his way to a quite emphatic and bold victory. But Ray Jazz did what Ray Jazz does best. A, he picks his openings, and B, he out-wrestles you. Amateur standout, and the Jazz tip of the day is probably something to do with being able to beat you on the mat. Ray Jazz did that, and Ray Jazz has a streak here in the Battleground. Now the fans appreciate the effort of Basad. Saw some homages to the past, and certainly still a very bright future for the Neon Ninja Basad. And we are still just getting started, folks. I want to remind you guys to check out battlegroundcw.com for our past, present, and future events. Signed by superstars.com. Great place to go to get some rare and, in some instances, one-of-one collectibles. Thanks to those.
Our next contest is a mystery tag team partner match. One fall, 30-minute time limit. Your referee, Johnny Q.
Well, all three entities in this match we know about are pretty damn intimidating. So I can't even hazard a guess as to where this will go from here. Temperature in this building has changed.
Introducing first, weighing at 394 pounds from deepest, darkest West Virginia, the Beastman. And his tag team partner, hailing from the dark realm, the deity of affliction, Dark STG.
Well, the situation with Dark STG, ever since we saw this incarnation, this iteration, this transformation of the man that once upon a time I knew as Steve Gibkey, and I guarantee you I have no interest and no desire to approach this man at any point, because you don't know who and what you're gonna get. Steve still exists inside that vessel, for lack of a better term, but there's a dark demonic force making his presence known and overtaking this vessel, and he, from what I understand, he's called a deity of affliction. I had to break out my research books. I spoke to a pagan mythologist about the entire story that led to
and their opponents.
What we see here, and Beastman by his side, recruited as Dark STG's quote hellhound, from what I understand, nearly 400 pounds.
Introducing first, weighing in at 325 pounds, from the Isle of Samoa, Alpha Jr.
Well, Alpha Jr., of course, the lineage speaks for itself. The Samoan wrestling dynasty, the bloodline, call it what you will. Son of Alpha. You think about Alpha and Sika, Rikishi, Umaga, Yokozuna, The Rock.
His tag team partner,
Alpha Jr. taking over the reins as the trainer of the
weighing
family.
in at 230 pounds, from Dallas, Texas, Charlie Haas.
A graduate of Seton Hall University once upon a time, but it's been many, many years since Charlie Haas has been in this part of the country here in the Northeast. Decorated collegiately and professionally, World Tag Team Champion in WWE and Ring of Honor. Charlie Haas, the selection for Alpha Jr. as his mystery tag team partner, and a great selection in my view, because you know, you can look at Dark STG, you can check out the intimidating nature of Beastman as well, but bottom line, they are human bodies. And human bodies can be picked apart and damaged and ravaged by a man with the skill set of Charlie Haas. Beastman defeated Alpha Jr. at our event in March when Worlds Collide. See it now in the archives at battlegroundcw.com. And good luck keeping Beastman under control. And Haas to the outside. Feeling pretty good about himself. And man, are these people pumped to see Charlie Haas compete. And Charlie's pumped to be here. We saw Haas competing as part of the, appearing as part of the Icons of Wrestling Fan Fest and Convention this afternoon and morning, but didn't dream of the fact he might wind up wrestling here this evening. Dark STG, a mild-mannered young wrestler overtaken by a demonic force, the physical manifestation of all of your fears, the physical manifestation of all the ugliness that has been building inside Steve Gibkey when he lost all of those matches at the outset of his Battleground career. Something inside Gibkey just turned sour, just turned bitter, just turned ruthless. And maybe it'll help him as a competitor, but man, just being in the locker room this afternoon, nobody wants to go near this guy. He is persona non grata, and you see him overpower Charlie Haas. STG had his way with another beloved legend in March, Eugene. Eugene came out here, tried to have some fun, maybe at the expense of Dark STG, but man, he paid for it, did Eugene. Haas may not know how to figure out. Yeah. Gibkey has so much hate in his heart, or should I say Dark STG, but a deep, deep, steamboat-esque pair of arm drags by Charlie Haas. And the tag to Appa Jr. This badass Samoan. And the last thing you want to see a Samoan that size do is leave their feet. Ouch. Man, nobody budging there. STG came up with that drop kick. And damage seriously done. I'm impressed that Beastman understands tag rules enough to know not to come in when he's not supposed to, but Appa picking up the rivalry where they left off. Good, keep the big man down. 394 pounds, I believe Beastman was announced at the outset of this. And Beastman just waylaying away. Appa Jr. fires back. Again, a return match from an event ago. BattlegroundCW.com if you missed it. Ooh. Appa asking the people, they're not going to tell you not to. The Stone Age Savage holding his own against a member of the Samoan Wrestling Dynasty. STG got the foot up. He paid for it from Appa Jr. And Beastman a standing crossbody. Man, that's insane, but Charlie Haas bails out his tag team partner. What a collision that was, as Beastman collided with Appa Jr. Appa's a big man. He's got to be about 3 bills in his own right, but he went straight down. STG back in. And all of the great athletic credentials, amateur credentials, completely out the window. It's a different mindset. It's a different goal. It's an intent to maim. And 2 count only. Maybe that's the killer instinct that the man known as Steve Gibkey was missing. But Dark STG has it in a big way. Double suplex coming up. Appa Jr. drill. Into the cover. No. Less than half a count away there. I think it's a great call by STG or his maybe his handler or whoever the hell that was we saw last time, to have Beastman fight your battles alongside you. I would certainly rather have Beastman as an ally than as an enemy. Beastman doesn't understand much of anything, really, but he understands survival mode. He understands fight for your food. And Alpha understands a second rope moonsault. Nicely done. Beastman is down. Could this be a turning point in the matchup? Haas is itching to get in the ring. As Alpha Jr. makes the tag at Charlie Haas low bridged. Charlie Haas was building all the momentum and steam that he could, and STG knew that and stayed a step ahead. Well, if we reach 10, it's a count out. This thing's over. Haas battling up, man, those hard forearm shots. Oh, man. Beastman just overpowering Haas. Just absolutely dominates him. A collegiate wrestling scholarship. Haas went to college on, but then he just got completely overwhelmed by the Stone Age Savage. Crowd coming alive for Charlie Haas. But it's still very much an upward climb from here. Haas is in a bad way. Beastman tags in. STG dropping that leg. A leg drop from anybody in this matchup's none too pleasant. Charlie Haas, series of knees, got caught in midair. Look out, follow-away slam. Into the cover, got him though. Man, STG half a count away. Someone who has been in an entirely different state of mind and being since donning that paint, and it's not just wearing the paint, it's the symbolism behind it. The man we thought we knew is no longer there. Oh my God, nearly 400 pounds. Down across the chest cavity, and Beastman gets a near fall. Alpha bailing out Charlie Haas. But if not for that, you gotta believe this matchup could be over. And that is why Beastman is the, quote, hellhound of Dark STG. Haas getting hit from all sides. Nowhere to go to protect himself. Just listen to these visceral screams from STG, taking pleasure in other people's pain, spreading misery, pain, suffering, fear, all things he lives off of, and sending Beastman in. But Haas out of the way. The Hellhound came up empty. A low bridge to STG. Can Charlie Haas find Alpha Jr.? Here we go. Oh, you know you gotta be jacked up to take down near 400 pounds with one shot, but Alpha Jr.'s doing it. What a splash. Off and behind. All impact by STG. 2-on-1, Beastman. Oh, Beastman got launched. Absolutely launched into Alpha, but Alpha swings through and counters. STG hit Beastman. He's out of there. Alpha Jr. big time Samoan splash and the victory.
Your winners of the match, the team of Alpha Jr. and Charlie Haas.
Alpha Jr. and Charlie Haas, the victory. For my money, Charlie Haas, an incredible tag team partner, proved to be just the pick Alpha Jr. needed to counteract those two behemoths, those monstrosities. On Haas is feeling it. I don't know how many years it's been since Charlie's been in the 2300 arena, but whatever the answer is, it's long overdue. Oh, wait a minute. STG back in the ring along with Zio Zagan. I understand this man's name is the keeper of the Codex. He watches over that book he carries that seems to have some sort of strange transforming power or control over STG. And Beastman has not moved since that splash. Oh, what in the world is this? What are you doing? Alpha back in. It looked like STG was going to commit an absolutely heinous act and maybe put the Beastman out of action permanently. Maybe more than that. I think Alpha Jr. telling STG it's not that serious. Not like that. And somebody, whoever's a brave soul down there, please get that weapon away from STG. Beastman to his feet. But Alpha standing his ground. Beastman has his bone. And STG sees the numbers not in a favor that he wanted them in. Apparently the Beastman relationship has reached a quite abrupt ending, according to Dark STG's actions, but maybe an unlikely ally in the form of Alpha Jr. Does Beastman understand this gesture? Apparently so. Could we see the makings of another great alliance here in Battleground Championship Wrestling? Alpha the win, along with Charlie Haas, and a potentially a changed man and Beastman moving forward. We'll see. The one finger Anybody who follows the sport on television knows the significance of that to the Samoan wrestling dynasty. Alpha Jr. tonight with Charlie Haas. They are the ones. As we remind you folks to check out battlegroundcw.com, signedbysuperstars.com. Purchase tickets to upcoming events. Check out past events and, of course, exclusive signed merchandise you're not going to find anywhere else.
Our next match is a special challenge match. One fall with a 1 hour time limit. Your referee, Pat Savino. Introducing first, weighing in at 280 pounds, from South Central Los Angeles, Willie Mack.
From his days in Boyle Heights to Impact Wrestling and AAA and all points in between, how can you not love Willie Mack, all right? He's an incredible fighter. He is a class act all the way. He loves to entertain and make sure everybody's having a good time. And you can't take away that size and power from Mack as well. He can do so much in that ring, you gotta back the Mack. But time will tell how Willie Mack can do in Battleground Championship Wrestling. The playing field is very difficult here. It's very level, it's wide open.
His opponents.
But man, you gotta be ready to put in a full day's work at the office. You wanna get a win here.
Weighing in at 183 pounds from Baltimore, Maryland, Rich Swann.
Well, Rich Swann made his presence known answering an open challenge in the month of March, and it ended with maybe the most unexpected dance-off I ever did see in my many years of doing this. Rich Swann and Bull James. I think Bull James tore something. And not just his pants when attempting that exchange, and who knows when he'll be 100%. But Rich Swann always shows up 100%, mind, body, and soul. He's ready to fight, he's ready to compete, he's ready to bounce back. Rich Swann's not that kind of guy that's going to go down 0-2 and feel okay about it, just be happy to be part of the team. Rich Swann's here to be the best. Rich Swann giving the loudest section what they want to see. That's a front row seat. But the question here, will Willie Mack be deterred or intimidated by what is an entrance only Rich Swann can do? I think it's fair to say that answer's a hard no. Well, did Willie Mack just... Oh, wait a minute. We may not be done here. Oh, no. That was a bad move. The referee just pulled a Bull James. And maybe pulled more than that as it was. Be that as it may, the pleasantries are over, and there's only one way to settle it now. We're going to fight about it. Two of the most successful, most beloved, most athletic, most perseverant. A lot of adjectives describe what Rich Swann and Willie Mack have meant to pro wrestling over the past number of years. Swann, a former Cruiserweight champion, former Impact World Champion, nearly unified the Impact and AEW World titles when he and Kenny Omega went one-on-one. Willie Mack has seen success everywhere he's been at as well. Nice takeover, but Mack rolls through. You can never underestimate the agility of Willie Mack. And it's Willie Mack getting the takeover. Going in the drop kick. A speed game will favor Swann. But so far, we may be at a stalemate. Crowd certainly very impressed by what they've seen. I don't blame them. Mack, a former X Division champion at Impact Wrestling, Trios champion in Lucha Underground, NWA National champion. Mack's been on the cusp of greatness for quite a long time. He's held championships. He's stolen shows. Can Mack get a big win here? That's the question. Swann countering that go behind. There's a duck. Ow, man. When you got Willie Mack in motion, there's not many ways to get him to stop. Rich Swann found one. You block him with your head, and you deal with the consequences later. Jeez. Willie Mack holding nothing back on that shot. If you thought there was any half speed based on the friendship and the dance-off, nothing doing here. Pace quick, it's a check out Willie Mack. Matching Rich Swann move for move, but it's Swann who catches Mack high with a drop kick. Swann kept himself in motion, even got a rotation or two during that drop kick midair. And it's paid dividends. Swann. I'm not sure that I would suggest Rich Swann enter a slugfest with a man that much bigger than him. You got to think, what, 70, 80 pound differential? But Rich Swann has never been one to take obstacles and just go the other direction. Swann will kick through those obstacles if he has to. And nobody, I mean nobody, wants to be 0-2 in Battleground, and that's what Swann is facing. He's not able to put away Mack, who drops Swann with a DDT. Man, so much ferocity behind that shot. Mack feeling like he needs to give chase, doesn't want to give Rich Swann enough time to recover, get back in this thing. Man. Pure impact by Willie Mack. It is physicality personified, but let's give credit to Rich Swann, who keeps getting back up, who keeps asking for more. Oh, not the nipples. Willie Mack keeps you guessing. And no, I don't know the counter for that. But Mack has everybody on their toes, and could Willie Mack maybe look for count out? Look for any kind of situation like that? Highly unlikely. Willie Mack wants to win this thing in the center of the ring. Willie Mack wants to win this thing man on man. 1, 2, 3, and if he has to lose it that way, so be it. I don't expect to see any shortcuts or corners cut in this match. Swann set for the ride. And Willie Mack leaves his feet. You notice Mack spread his body weight out for maximum impact. And man, Mack got all of that on top, hooks the leg for 2. Wow. What a display. I think it's so easy to overlook Mack's agility, his propensity to fly because of his size, because he's got so much power behind his strikes. But man, I don't think there's anything Willie Mack can't do. Any style. Swann got the foot up. Pushing away and comes up swinging with a clothesline. Swann had to build momentum. Swann had to counteract the size disadvantage, and he did it a huge way. And he connected. And this crowd is with him. Swann looking at dazed Mack. Rapid fire jabs. What looked like a little road dog Jesse James. And just chop Mack down. Side kicks and round kicks up and down the body, but not enough to keep Mack down. A versatile playbook for Mr. Rich Swann. Swann the snapmare. Man. That shot resonated. And it keeps Mack prone as Rich Swann. Phoenix splash off the second. But Willie Mack not having it. Samoan drop, beautifully done. And the ability on the Mack speaks volumes all its own. Standing moonsault for 2.5. And if you had told me that would have been it there, I wouldn't be surprised, nor would I think anyone in this building. Crowd cheering for Rich Swann, but Willie Mack has a vocal fan base all his own. Swann caught Mack up high, second time. And fancy footwork paying dividends. Neck breaker nicely done. And Swann walked up Mack and caught him with a back kick, but not enough. Mack gets the left shoulder up somehow. Both these men have taken so much out of each other. The physical toll, the mental toll. One of the most evenly fought contests, perhaps in Battleground history. Only one can win. Swann wants to get his first victory. Mack here in his debut looking to start off on the right foot. And you can see the sweat fly. And maybe a little bit extra too. Back and forth, rapid fire. Swann digs down deep. Mack responds in kind. Both men still on their feet somehow, spinning back kick. Oh, Mack went down hard and is favoring his wrist. You can see that wrist is braced and protected. And Mack tried to use his power, tried to use his upper body mass, but something did not go according to Mack's strategy. And Rich Swann, well, look out! Oh, Mack caught him that time. Did Mack bait Swann in? No, near fall. Swann took an extra second or so to strategize, to figure out what's next. And Mack, he may have done further damage to himself, but Mack was able to pull off that right hand after elevating. Swann. Stunner will do it. Here comes Swann, down, back with a cutter countered. Both men are looking for that Hail Mary, and it's Mack, the spine buster. Sits out with an all impact, but no. Man, what a fight. Well, it's going to behoove Mack to finish this matchup as quickly as possible, knowing he is more than likely far under 100%. On Mack, 280 plus or so frog splash, but nobody there. And Rich Swann springs off with a handspring cutter. And Rich Swann, no! Man, how close can you get? And that's a call that may be disputed by many here till the end of time. But Swann gets the Phoenix Splash, and Rich Swann puts Willie Mack away that time.
Your winner of the match, Rich Swann.
Man, Willie Mack fought with every breath in his body. The last kick out may have been on instinct more than anything, but the official was right there where he needed to be, when he needed to be there to make that call. And it came down to a game of inches, but Rich Swann with that high-impact offense. Mac's power game was compromised due to the damage of that wrist, but Rich Swann could still stick and move, hit and run, and with a side of Mac's body weakened, it left Mac more vulnerable to Rich Swann's scintillating offense. And Rich Swann's back on the winning side of the equation here in Battleground. If you're 0-2 in the Battleground at any point, the odds don't look good for you moving forward, quite obviously, but Rich Swann will not have to worry about that. And to the victor, I would say go the spoils, but Swann is more interested, rather than dancing and celebrating, than checking on his friend. That's the real issue here. That's the real centerpiece of Rich Swann's attention. Is Willie Mack okay? These men fought their asses off, but there's no personal animosity. There's no grudge here. It's all love in the 2300 arena. With a matchup that hard fought, it's a shame that anybody has to lose. But Rich Swann sees his name rise up the ranking. And Willie Mack, there'll be another day for you too, sir. One ovation for both these men. And still so much more to come. Here is part of Battleground Championship Wrestling, and turn the heat up.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next match is our ladies match. One fall with a 30-minute time limit. Your referee, John Rankin. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first, hailing from the 505 Albuquerque, New Mexico, she is Micah.
Back live with you at the 2300 Arena, South Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
And her opponents.
And we're kicking things off with women's division action. We got two debuts on tap.
Hailing from Orlando, Florida, top tier Jasmine Allure.
Micah is the opponent. Introduced previously as we take a look at top tier Jasmine Allure, only a 2-year pro, but we've already seen her compete on the likes of AEW Dark and face many top names across the world. A real student of the game as well. She trained down in Texas, AAPW school. I had a chance to go down and speak to some of those students, I guess a little over a year ago now. Jasmine Allure was one of the athletes that stood out to me the most because she's hungry, because she's very passionate about getting on the road, getting seasoned, getting matches under her belt. And when you think about her list of trainers, the legendary Jazz, an ECW original. How about Rodney Mack? How about the current AEW Women's World Champion, Thunder Rosa? I mean, that is quite a pedigree, quite a list of names to study under. But Micah brings an experience advantage with her, 11 years in the game, and from what I understand, a chip on her shoulder as well. We want to thank all of you fans watching at home now, live across the world on Fight TV, for your patience at our live intermission. A huge line to get tickets for our return coming up December 17th, when Battleground promoter Tim Embler mentioned it will be a tribute to Extreme. We'll be bringing that on pay-per-view as well. But Rob Van Dam finally inducted into the 2300 Arena Hardcore Hall of Fame. We've seen Paul Ellering and the Road Warriors inducted in the past. We've seen so many men inducted, so many different promotions, whether you're a competitor, a manager, even a cameraman. I mean, if you meant something to that Extreme era that changed this entire sport forever, you deserve your acknowledgement. Rob's deserved that acknowledgement for a long, long time. And think about Rob Van Dam versus Rhino. You think about Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley back together. And Sabu and Sandman and the franchise Shane Douglas. I mean, I don't know when the last time it's been. Backslide by Micah. And Jasmine now the roll-up. But I can't recall the last time this many Extreme names has been under this roof at the same time. And not just any name, but former world champions, main event talents, people that will live forever in the annals of history in this building and in pro wrestling. And certainly Micah and Jasmine Allure part of the history as well. Satellite head scissors by Jasmine. The takeover nicely done. Jasmine's got a touch of lucha libre to her style. Nice back kick caught Micah coming in. It's Jasmine's chance to really step up. Much as we talked about, they were into the cover for one. We talked about with VSK. We talked about with a number of athletes throughout tonight and recent events. You want to put your name on the map in this part of the country, you get a win at the 2300 Arena. But Micah has much the same idea in mind. Now on top, only gets a count of two. Micah the aggressor just jamming that knee down onto a prone Jasmine Allure, who calls herself top tier, and we're going to see if she can live up to that moniker and live up to that reputation. Micah is grounding Allure. That's a smart strategy. We talked about could be, curb stomp time. Just aggressively drives her down. The lucha libre skill, the speed. Jasmine can be very evasive as well. She's abusive yet elusive. Micah's taken that out of the Jasmine Allure playbook. Face first into the buckle. And the full extension of the leg, choking out Allure. All that pressure on the windpipe. Micah's not looking for a pretty win. She's not looking for style points. She's just looking to choke the life out of Jasmine Allure, and thus far, she's been quite effective at it. Count of one, says the official. But Jasmine Allure, you could sense the deeper this matchup goes, her body language gets more and more perilous. Jasmine, and we've seen Kevin Sullivan here a number of times in Battleground. Jasmine finds herself in the tree of woe. Low drop kick. I'm having Tajiri flashbacks in this arena. Micah on top, but only a count of two. That was full force. And Jasmine Allure, all she could do is just brace herself as best she could. Wow, Micah has pushed the bending, if not outright breaking of the rules. to its furthest limits. And with Jasmine trapped in the corner, well, I made the Tajiri comparison, unbeknownst that it would go even deeper than that. The tarantula by Micah, she can keep it on only for under 5 seconds before it becomes illegal, but you could do a hell of a lot of damage stretching your opponent across those ropes in a short amount of time. Jasmine Allure battling her way free. That jawbreaker connected, and it gave her a reprieve, and Jasmine starting to string together some offense. And Micah, using her power, overtakes Allure the balance to get back onto her offensive ways. And here we go now. Cross body, 2 count only. And Allure was so close, trying to psych herself up, get herself into this game, get that blood flowing, but Micah with one shot. Backstabber connects. Micah on top. Micah looking to secure those shoulders, but could not get the 3 toes of the hand. Looking to finish this thing. Jasmine Allure. I think that was the teardrop, and she just beat her with it. What a comeback story.
Your winner of the match, Jasmine Allure.
Jasmine Allure on the receiving end for most of this matchup. But once she cinched in on Micah, drove back all that weight right onto the top of the head and neck from both athletes. There was nowhere for Micah to go to recover. And Jasmine Allure comes up big in her ECW 2300 Arena debut. It'll be the ECW Arena December 17th for the tribute to Extreme. But right now, pay tribute to Jasmine Allure. A rich pedigree, a great foundation, and a hell of a win here at Turn the Heat Up here at Battleground. Second half is just getting underway. Of course, don't forget our huge tag team main event is still to come. We got a couple of tag team main events, if I'm being completely honest with you, because one is a grudge match that has been a year in the making. One has international proportions. And of course, we have the Sins of the Father match coming as well.
Our next match is a tag team challenge match. 1 fall, 1 hour time limit. Your referee, John Q. Introducing first, from Melbourne, Australia, Buddy Matthews.
When Buddy Matthews is here, you're playing under house rules. And Buddy Matthews is the centerpiece. Although this issue got started It was Buddy Matthews and Brian Cage scheduled for our event in the month of September 2021. Brian Cage could not compete due to injury. One of Cage's proteges, Casey Navarro, stepped up to bat, filled in for Cage, and Matthews and Navarro had an absolute show stealer right out of the gate. Buddy Matthews was victorious in that matchup, a match that went viral on YouTube. But Casey Navarro, and by extension Brian Cage, have been pursuing Buddy Matthews ever since. But the Buddy Matthews you see now is a stark different mindset of the Buddy Matthews of 2021, with the direction of Malachi Black
his tag team
guiding
partner.
him.
From Long Island, New York, he is the premier athlete, Tony Nese.
Well, Tony Nese found himself inserted into this situation when it was Nese and Buddy Matthews one-on-one back in the month of December, and Casey Navarro and his buddy for the night, Ray Jazz, played spoiler in that issue, ruined that matchup, and Nese and Matthews were forced to join forces to combat the ever-growing egos on the other side. And as a result, now Nese stands with Matthews in this rivalry. A mutual respect is formed. They're a couple of AEW stars. They don't seem to have a lot in common on the surface, but they have the same enemies here, and that makes them allies.
And their opponents, introducing first from Chica, California, the Machine, Brian Cage, and his tag team partner from Miami, Florida, Truly Blessed, Casey Navarro.
Well, Casey Navarro and Brian Cage, in many ways a mentor-protege relationship. We saw Brian Cage and Buddy Matthews go one-on-one in the month of March, but the involvement of Casey Navarro caused the match to be thrown out. A disqualification was called. Cage was announced the winner. I'm of the belief Buddy Matthews should have been the winner, but that's inconsequential at this point, because what matters is Buddy Matthews wanted to pin Brian Cage and prove in his mind that Brian Cage's a coward, although he used more colorful verbiage than that. Casey Navarro, that annoying little gnat, deprived Matthews from what he was looking for. Could you imagine being locked in a room for a long time, or maybe you had a long flight and you had to sit next to Casey Navarro? That would be a very, very dubious fate. It was Navarro who fell to Tony Nese at that same event this past March. So a bit of a measure of revenge. And Brian Cage decides he'll start the match. Joint decision, I'm sure, but Matthews from behind the move changes. Matthews and Nese have had Cage as the target. The Swolverine, easily the biggest man in this matchup, and that makes him a target under normal circumstances, let alone a grudge match situation. Cage looking to battle himself out of the corner, he does. It's Brian Cage against the world. Cage, a former FTW champion, highly decorated in Impact Wrestling. And Matthews and Nese, the strike combos, and Cage sent to the floor. Impressive teamwork from Nice and Matthews. Great chemistry here in the early going, only their second time tagging to my knowledge. And Matthews just punted Cage in the jaw. And Nice flies Pescado. And it's all intensity and all impact in the early going, and Casey went to fly and got cut off at the pass. And Casey's not feeling so blessed now, is he? He may feel cursed. Again, Casey ruined Matthews and Cage. Casey's been the thorn at everybody's side, and they've split the distance, and they've cornered Casey Navarro. And it didn't take long for action to spill all the way around the ringside area, as you might expect, based on the personal animosity involved. And it's Cage swinging whatever's moving again. Casey Navarro happy to cheerlead. Cage off to a very impactful start in this matchup. You don't want to leave any opening to the premier athlete, but Cage overpowered him. Shades of D'Lo Brown by Brian Cage. His spine bust so powerful, almost a version of that Sky High. And Matthews is back to his corner. Casey at his corner. And somehow, even if it's inadvertently, we have a traditional tag team matchup, even with the tempers flaring as they are. Oh. Hard knife edge. Cage the slam, Cage the tag. And Navarro elevated, 2 count only. Cage is so adept at using Navarro as an offensive weapon. Navarro gets bigger every time I see him. He's well put together. He's obnoxious as all hell. There you see Nice. Navarro was trying to bait in Matthews. Nice wouldn't stop fighting. Matthews getting it as well. Navarro running across the ring, just in fear for his life, but check out the opening he's created. The double team, Cage and Navarro on the blind side of the official. Nothing Matthews can do but watch helplessly. Cage and Navarro make a hell of a team, even unofficially. Casey Navarro is the champion of Warrior Wrestling in Chicago. Brian Cage instrumental in helping Casey get to that dance. Stalling suplex, all the blood rushing to the brain of Tony Nese. And it's Cage with standing moonsault. Is it enough? No. Well, it's easy to talk big and tough about Brian Cage, and Brian Cage is hundreds of miles away, but it's an entirely different thing when Cage is beating the hell out of you center of the ring. Navarro tagged in. From way down and deep in the 305 comes Casey Navarro. Looking suplex. But man, that's it's a lot to get over as Tony needs the inside cradle for 2. And Navarro taking offense to the fact that Nese counted the suplex, almost as if his pride has been damaged. The Casey Navarro ego needs stroked. Suplex, take 2. Got it that time. And there's a cover. 2 count only. It's almost as if you could see the head of Casey Navarro grow by the move. What used to be a nice kid, but unfortunately when you have a lot of success, when you get a lot of attention, when you have a lot of people pumping you up and telling you how good you are in your early 20s, as Casey's still in, sometimes it goes to your head and you lose sense of reality. As Casey hammering down on Nice. And man, Nice is bringing that physicality. Casey went drop kick, nobody there. Mistimed by Navarro, but a great adjustment into the jackknife pin and a hard shot to Matthews. Navarro's going through heaven and hell to keep Nice and Matthews apart, and he's done it. Back into his own corner, Brian Cage back in. Well, I like the adjustment of Navarro. Too full of himself on the drop kick attempt, but he was able to scramble. And Cage is doing curls with a near 200-pound man. Impressive. Casey Navarro running his mouth. I'll check this out. Shades of Andre the Giant and Superfly Snook of him, a bygone era across town in the Spectrum. But it did not pay dividends as Tony Nese fights both men off, eludes contact, and is now making a beeline for Buddy Matthews. See ya, bye, Casey. Tony, can you find your corner? Enziguri kick. And Cage is eight, and Casey just pulled down Buddy Matthews. Nice was in the corner, he had the tag, and now Matthews is ready. Matthews is back, and it's all the annoyance of Casey Navarro, who just can get under your skin so easily. Just listen to Casey talk. Listen to him boast. How about when he calls Brian Cage Papa Cage? Brian Cage is certainly the man in charge at this point in time. Well put together is an understatement of all understatements. And Cage has no leverage to this, trying to show off, and it's Nice a step ahead. And, oh, Cage, handful of hair. Nice had a clear path to Matthews. There was no one impeding him. And Nice jumps up with a Hurricane Rana. Nice, another golden opportunity. Will Nice get the tag? And he does! Cage tag Navarro, but Buddy Matthews is the legal man, and the only man that will know how scared Casey is, maybe his dry cleaner. This is the confrontation that started it all 11 months ago. Back to square one. Casey's been a thorn in the side of Buddy Matthews, who's looking to knee the face off of Casey Navarro. Kicks the buckle straight into the face. And Matthews, a majestic Meteora. The hook of the leg, but not enough. The twos keep getting longer, but Casey, the last thing he would want to do is disappoint Papa Cage and take a fall as Buddy Matthews is cinching Casey up for Murphy's Law. Casey counters. Sidestep, back kick. Oh, Buddy caught him. Buddy has seen this playbook before. More than once. And Casey drives the foot to the face. Hurricane Rana, oh, not enough body weight. Not enough body weight to get that thick frame of Buddy over. Buckle bomb. Shades of a mentor from a past life. Curb stomp, much the same. Cover! Brian Cage saves it for his team. Cage may have been going F5. Matthews doesn't want to wait to find out. Here's Nice. There goes Nice. Cage is what, 260, 270, voluntarily leaving his feet. It's going to go from bad to worse. Both Nice and Buddy, powerhouses by themselves, but combined. Oh, and Casey Navarro. Casey gonna throw him off balance. Tower of Doom, everybody down. One could argue KC got the best of it, but man, the strength it took to topple them over, he doesn't look in any better shape than any of them, including Cage, who was on top and had the furthest to fall. These men their ability to stand is questionable, but their ability to fight, undeniable. And make no mistake, those shots are connecting. Ouch. All impact. Oh, Cage's ham hock of a leg sent into his partner, courtesy of Buddy Matthews. And it's Cage who gets the high knee. Discus lariat on Nice, the Matrix counter. Three-strike combo by the premier athlete. Casey and Nice's legs get tangled. They both have the same idea. Heel kick caught Navarro high. Discus lariat. Brian Cage, all that power and motion. F5, Matthews slips out. Curb, stomp. Navarro the super kick. Spinning back kick. Casey's gonna do this. Are you serious? No. Oh, that would stick in the craw of Nice and Matthews if Casey Navarro was the one to score this pin. What is next for the blessed one? There you go. Casey is measuring a couple of fallen foes. Zeroing in on Matthews. Jesus Peace. Couldn't finish. Buddy the knee. Murphy's Law countered. Roll up. No. Buddy switches directions. Casey hangs on. Elevated DDT. Casey's skull was the first thing to hit. Watch out for Cage. Nice caught him high. Can Matthews do this? Murphy's Law to Brian Cage and Nice to 450. And after all this time, Brian Cage has been pinned. Nice and Matthews get what they desire.
Your winners of the match, the team of Buddy Matthews and Tony Nice.
It was about proving something to Brian Cage, calling him out, and getting him in a fight in a fair environment. We finally got that tonight, and Tony Nice, Buddy Matthews have scored a victory a year in the making. It was about this time, 365 days ago, we were promoting Matthews v. Cage at Battleground, September 2021. We finally get that confrontation, a souped-up version, a tag team version. But it's hard to find two better athletes than Nice and Buddy. And
members of the House of Black, please rise.
It's Let's go to Buddy. No shame for any four. That was a fight.
I said, members of the House of Black, please rise. Members of the House of Black, I have one request. Members of the House of Black, please sing Happy Birthday to Tony Nese. Shut the fuck up! You wanna hear that shit?
Well then.
No. I'm tired of this. I want you guys to realize something. I don't give a damn where any of you been. I'm the guy now. At the end of the day, buddy, not once, not twice, three times your ass cheated. Screw you. And you really think I give a shit that it's your birthday? You know you're only getting older, right? I mean, damn, I'm looking at these abs, and they're starting to look like a six-pack of rolls, son. And where the hell's Brian Cage? Oh, yeah, you're supposed to be Papa Cage, right? You're supposed to be the mentor, right? You're supposed to be the guy. All you've been doing is holding me back, son.
Whoa.
You've been holding me back from my true potential, and that's to be a goddamn star. I mean, where the hell were you? So break up that pin, huh? You weren't there, huh? No.
Casey.
You weren't there when I need you most, right? Nah. Hey, when I won titles, most of the time, I defended them and did them without you, because I don't need your ass.
Casey Navarro's mouth finally got himself in too deep a trouble to figure a way out of. And now Casey doesn't have a friend in sight. Damn. Nothing more needs to be said. F5 straight to hell. You know what? I'm not mad at this. Just saying. There we go. I knew we were in the middle of something. What a birthday gift here at the Battlegrounds to be able to say you defeated Brian Cage and Casey Navarro and put a little extra luster on that beating to Casey Navarro as well. Dare I say, you love to see it. Casey Navarro's mouth, at least temporarily, has been shut. I want to remind everybody to check out battlegroundcw.com. There'll be more updates certainly on our tribute to the Extreme this December. Can't wait to find out more names, more matches that'll be a part of that extravaganza. And of course, signedbysuperstars.com, some incredible merchandise, live signings, and a whole lot more interactive experience no matter where in the world you are, and some pieces for sale that you can't find available anywhere else.
Hey, I got the microphone in my hand, so that means y'all listen, all right?
Again? You've not learned yet?
You think I really give a damn what they all did? I said it before, I'll say it again. I'm the best damn thing going today. And y'all can all follow me at KC Wrestles, because, you know, unlike a lot of the boys and girls in the back, I'm actually verified because I'm a real star. So y'all can keep booing me, y'all can kiss my blessed ass. Because at the end of the day, I still got paid because of all you, and I'm still gonna beat the best, and you don't have to tell me I know.
Make note of the fact Casey waited till Brian Cage was long clear gone to run his mouth. There's Buddy Matthews again. Yeah, chase him. Get him in the parking lot if you have to. That kid's got to learn the hard way maybe several times over, if that's any indication. Just slap the taste out of his mouth as many times as you need to, buddy. If you want to introduce him to Malachi and Brody King, I'm okay with that. Just saying. And getting set for what I think is the most unique contest of our card this evening. I've been waiting with anticipation since the day it was announced.
Our next match is one fall with a 1 hour time limit. Your referee, Pat Savino. Introducing first, from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Harry Smith.
Harry Smith wearing the vest of his late great father, the British Bulldog, Davy Boy Smith, out to the ring. That vest was worn by Davy Boy at the same time of Davy Boy's rivalry with Ken Shamrock 25 years ago. Harry Smith, a big part of that Ric Flair's last match event a week ago. Physical battle against Killer Cross, who's making headlines all his own in pro wrestling this week. Harry Smith is 6'5", 270, but he was anything but when he first crossed paths with Shamrock. Harry Smith was 10 years old when he met Ken Shamrock, training at the Hart House under the likes of Bret Hart and Leo Burke. Ken Shamrock
And his opponent.
refined his wrestling skills, and Harry and Shamrock crossed paths.
From Reno, Nevada, please welcome Ken Shamrock.
The name Ken Shamrock runs deep in combat sports, whether you're talking about the WWF, UFC, pan-craze fighting, all points in between. It was Shamrock who defeated Dan the Beast Severn back at UFC 6 to become the UFC Super Fight champion. Shamrock versus Royce Gracie, Shamrock versus Dan Severn were two rivalries that put UFC on the map. Shamrock was the very first NWA World Champion of the TNA Impact Wrestling era in 2002 and inducted into their Hall of Fame a year ago. Intercontinental Champion, Tag Team Champion of the World, a fixture of the Attitude Era. Anytime Shamrock is around, it's knuckle up time. 28 wins in mixed martial arts, 22 by submission. Shamrock is a lethal submission specialist. This is the calm before the storm. Imagine the frame of mind you have to get in to enter a fight of this degree. Harry Smith is about 6'5" and 270. Shamrock is 6'1", with a fighting weight that fluctuates, maybe between 210, 230.
Boy, this never gets old. You fans are awesome. Gets me pumped up every time I walk down that aisle. Just keep it coming. Listen, I don't know if most of you know this, but me and him got some history. And in a good way. I remember him when he was 10 years old. I know, isn't that awesome? He ain't 10 no more. I remember his dad, Bret Hart, unveiled the whole Hart Foundation. We were down there training, and this kid walks in at 10 years old, and he wanted some, even at 10. So I jumped in, I started working with him. Kid, he's got a lot of heart. I watched this guy grow up from 10 years old, watching him in the wrestling circuit, seeing how he's grown, he's trained himself, he's done everything right. The thing I like most about him is that he respects people. But hey, here's the thing. When we step in a squared circle, that respect has to go out of there, right? Now it's about competing. It's about getting in here and trying to win. So you need to strap it up, because I ain't gonna give you anything.
A word of warning from Shamrock. Hey! Harry Smith went downstairs on a man that's known Harry and his family for 25 years, and Shamrock's got no bad blood for Harry Smith, but clearly Harry doesn't feel that way. It was back 25 years ago, earlier this week, August 3rd, 1997. Just 3 days ago was the 25-year anniversary when Shamrock choked out the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith and East Rutherford, New Jersey at SummerSlam. And Shamrock snapped after that matchup. I believe the decision was reversed. Bulldog declared the winner. Shamrock belly-to-belly suplex Pat Patterson and Jerry Briscoe and referees, and you gotta watch out for Shamrock's temper. There's no doubt about that. But the British Bulldog survived thanks to that temper. He didn't have to eat dog food. Bulldog Sr. fed Shamrock dog food in a Raw's War. I was there in Pittsburgh, July 28th, 1997. And And maybe that vest that Harry Smith wore out here was more than just an homage to family. Yeah, it clearly was a message. And Harry has credited Shamrock. He was the first guy to show Harry Smith how to do a sleeper hold, how to apply an Achilles lock at 10 years old, as Shamrock was training in Calgary. And anybody who's heard the stories about the famed Hart family dungeon knows what a dangerous environment that can be. And Harry was in there as a child. And that's hardened him so much, and it's toughened him. Shamrock has the ankle of Smith, who had a hold of the heel of Shamrock. Both men are looking for an offensive advantage. Those European-style uppercuts favor Harry Smith. Shamrock is kicking away at the ankle, not just trying to soften up Harry Smith for his signature maneuver, but take away that vertical base as well. Harry's not going to be 6'5" or have the power associated with him. He's 6'5" on the canvas. There's a Dynamite Kid-esque snap suplex float over for 2. Keep in mind, Harry Smith also studied extensively under the late, great Billy Robinson, considered by many to be perhaps the greatest catch wrestler of all time. And Billy Robinson absolutely put Harry Smith through hell. And every step of the way, anything Harry did wrong, he heard about it, and he felt it. Trust me. Harry Smith has no fear. If this is a catch wrestling type contest, advantage may go Harry Smith, but again, on the ground, Shamrock excels in submissions. Smith looking for what looks to be maybe an inverted figure 4. Shamrock grabbed onto the ankle again. That's the danger of trying to put Shamrock in a hold like this, is you're leaving your body open and vulnerable. Shamrock can pick a body part and just twist and stretch. Shamrock the body blows, but not budging Harry Smith, who is about, I would say 20 years younger than Shamrock. A full body slam. A 1-foot pin. Shamrock's pride would never be the same if he got pinned by 1 foot. Shamrock recently profiled as part of Dark Side of the 90s about UFC and some of their headaches in starting up and getting regulation and funding. And Shamrock was the golden boy, though. He was the poster child of early UFC. Without Shamrock, I don't know that there's a UFC today, even or an MMA community at all. And Shamrock, single leg. Looking to bar that knee. Shamrock upside down at this point, and this is an advantage for Smith. Certainly, Shamrock did not have to deal with rope breaks in the octagon. And Smith. Oh, man. And keep in mind, obviously, pro wrestling rules no rounds. I don't want to make Shamrock out to be a stranger in a strange land. Obviously, he's been pro wrestling off and on for pretty much his entire adult life, but his instincts are, I think, deeply rooted in the cage, but Harry Smith's tailbone deeply rooted in the canvas. Smith attempted a chance. It did not pay off. And Shamrock to his feet. Measures Smith with the right, second time. Kid Shamrock feeling it. The rights and lefts, now the knee to the upper body. Smith trying to cover up, get his hands in the way. Oh, forearm shot just rocked Harry Smith. His head and neck snapped back upon impact. And Shamrock is feeling it now. Here we go, belly to belly. Shamrock got him, that's usually the setup to the ankle lock submission. Shamrock has the ankle lock. He's got the leg scissored. Can Harry Smith find a counter? Find a rope, it could be tap or snap. Official in perfect position. Harry's trying to push up. Oh. And he does. Harry's to his feet. And that's going to negate a lot of that leverage Shamrock had. And it's Harry Smith turned into the sharpshooter. Oh, and Shamrock into the ropes. Harry Smith's Uncle Owen once snapped a bone in the leg of Ken Shamrock with that maneuver. Shamrock's felt it from Uncle Brett too. And a Davey Boy Sr.-esque power slam. And Shamrock, almost as if he had a flashback, kicked out quickly. But if you heard Harry Smith at home, he said he wants to make Shamrock tap. And that would be the ultimate, no pun intended, badge of honor for Smith and the whole Hart and Smith family. And Shamrock rolls through. Shamrock chaps the shoulders and Shamrock pins him. And Smith
Your
can't believe
winner, Ken Shamrock.
Well, we talked earlier about the danger of attempting to apply a submission hold on Ken Shamrock, effectively giving Shamrock a part of your body. Smith had to put his leg in a position to grapevine Shamrock's legs around him to apply that hold. And Shamrock, the submission specialist, only had to shift his weight a little bit to get the grapevine to roll through, trap Harry Smith onto his shoulders, and with that leg immobile, Smith did not have the leverage to kick out. Shamrock outsmarts the younger, bigger Harry Smith and add another big win to the resume of the multiple time over UFC and pro wrestling champion, Ken Shamrock. The sins of the father were paid here 25 years later, nearly to the day, as Shamrock, no decision reversal, no disqualification, Shamrock finally defeats the Hart family here in Philadelphia. And folks, still got one more to come. And your guess is as good as mine on what we are about to bear witness to, other than pure carnage. And you can see some of the implements of destruction being brought to ringside by our attendants. And these aren't meant for anything else than pain, agony, punishment, and torture, as the four men involved have made a living and reputation off of for decades.
This match is your main event. One fall, 1 hour time limit. Your referee, John Q.
Well, in the mind of Bully Ray, welcome to the jungle. The jungle refers to the ECW arena. Bully Ray valiantly fought to protect the honor and integrity of this historic venue with his victory over at Sushi Onita back at our event in the month of March. But as it often is in pro wrestling, it wasn't simply that easy, because the night ended with Atsushi Onita waving the flag of FMW and pronouncing it as the true leader, the true innovator in hardcore wrestling, and defacing and denouncing ECW. Bully Ray has not forgotten about that at all. Of course, it was Onita channeling the great Nita in that matchup, but no alter egos tonight. You get the Deathmatch King, Bully Ray. Is Bully ready for war or what? Barbed wire baseball bat in hand, and we haven't even started. PCO. In another lifetime, Pierre Carl Ouellette. Now, Perfect Creation 1. When you talk about fearlessness, you talk about longevity, you talk about being able to put your body through intense amounts of pain, that's PCO. I don't know if I call this man human. Whether he's human or not, there's no off switch on him. And I'm not sure if I can think of anybody better I'd want watching my back, especially in an environment like this.
And their opponents.
A name and a face that's been synonymous with Japanese deathmatch wrestling for as long as I can remember. The FMW incarnation of leather, super leather, whatever you want to call him. This man is mad, bad, and dangerous to know, and not just because of the chainsaw, which, by the way, good luck getting it out of his hands for any reason. Leather is untamed, uncontrollable, and was tailor-made for a match like this. And you can see the smoke spreading throughout this building from that disgusting chainsaw. Who knows what atrocities Leather has used that chainsaw for. We could see another in just minutes. Leather calls himself the monster. He says that to PCO. Could you imagine anyone else being so cool, calm, and collected and puffing on a cigarette knowing the chaos he's about to step into? Once upon a time, in 1981, Eddie Gilbert and Ricky Morton battled Masafuchi and Atsushi Onita in one of the famed Tupelo concession stand brawls in the Memphis territory. And that nugget, that seed, planted in the head of Atsushi Onita, many people say helped grow and blossom FMW into the leading worldwide organization for hardcore, high-risk, death-defying, violent professional wrestling. But to come into the ECW arena and disparage ECW, disrespect Sabu, disrespect Sandman. Certainly Onita and Sabu have their history we talked about in March. Sabu's uncle severe burns thanks to Onita back in the day. But Onita practically unzipped his pants and whizzed all over ECW when he proclaimed FMW the top promotion and waved that flag here in South Philadelphia, a building that so many people have bled in to build this legacy. But Onita has done much the same. In Japan, he is revered as a true innovator and trendsetter. International Incident, FMW versus ECW Revisited.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first, to my right, the team of Bully Ray and PCO! And to my left, the team of FMW Leather and Atsushi Onita!
Well, once upon a time, I never thought I'd get the privilege of calling an Onita matchup, and to see what this has escalated into ever since. As Leather and Onita stand side by side on Bully Ray's turf. And PCO is ready to fight Onita and Bully nose to nose. And it's Onita who strikes first. And man, this is going to be wild. It's Bully and Onita. In the far right corner, Leather and PCO battling as well. Don't expect tags, don't expect rules here. Just expect a lot of ugliness. PCO to the floor. Leather gives chase. Onita's got that chain already. There's a little shades of Tennessee for you. Crowd coming alive for Onita, who drives that chain wrapped around his fist straight into the skull of Bully Ray, and now choking the ECW legend. PCO and Leather on the outside. neutralizing one another. And Bully could be choked out in the opening minutes. What a statement that would be for Onita. Onita, man, is wearing away at Bully, and PCO been a complete non-factor thanks to FMW leather. And you gotta wonder how this damage early on is going to affect Bully Ray the deeper this match goes. And Onita, a chair found somewhere. Oh my God! Onita just cracked that steel chair in half across the skull of Bully Ray. And a DDT. Man, what the hell? Bully rolls out of the ring. That's all he could do at that point. How do you come back from that? As these men now on the floor. I don't think Bully's going to be okay from this anytime soon. Bully can't stand. He can't keep his balance. Onita throwing things. This could be a much more lawless environment before it gets better. Look out, Bully into the guardrail. And it's PCO sending Leather in on the far side. But Onita ripping away at the eyes, the face. Animalistic intensity by the FMW Kingpin. And back in the ring we go. To my knowledge, inside the ring is the only way to win this thing, but hell, that could change too. Because who's going to tell any of these four men no? And now, Team FMW, 2-on-1 on Bully Ray for the ride. Onita and Leather in a comfort zone now. And Bully comes back with a double clothesline. And those are the three letters Bully fights so proudly for. We saw Sandman, we saw Sabu have Bully's back in March as Team ECW, Team Extreme rallied to fend off the infiltrators. But PCO takes things to a whole new level. And PCO gonna show you just why. This man is insane! PCO through the ropes, tope suicida con hero. I don't know how much contact he made. I think Onita had eluded the near 300-pound missile. Leather seemed to get the brunt of it. Onita in a bad way now. Bully saw Onita sidestep and went right out to go on the offensive. And grinding the skull of Onita now into that ring post. Oh, look out. Bully practically into the front row. These fans helping Bully back on the proper side of the guardrail. And Bully, Onita has a guitar. Onita has a guitar. And he's driving it to the back of the neck of Bully. Just ramming the face into the canvas as well. Onita the leg drop. Well, I don't think Onita's gonna serenade us with his favorite folk hits. He's not gonna sing Neil Young. Guitar to the skull. Bully snaps the wood across the skull. And maybe Bully channeling the great Nita, whom we saw Onita channel at our last event. And leather from behind. No narration needed that time. And we knew it would get violent, we knew it would get ugly. And we're a long way away from the end of that road. Leather wanting to prove he's the real monster, not PCO. I don't know what sick lab would have created either of these entities. We saw Leather get a victory at When Worlds Collide in one-on-one action. He's undefeated here in the Battleground. Remnants of that guitar. Those are some sharp shards of wood, some splinters that could get embedded into your skin. And Onita busted wide open thanks to that guitar, but still on his feet, ready to swing that barbed wire bat. And I believe that's Bully's bat. LPCO spears Onita through the barbed wire board. PCO had one chance to create an opening, and he did. Bully to his feet now. Onita is entangled and embedded into that barbed wire. Bully had Leather, but he wants Atsushi Onita. He wants the ringleader. He wants the man that so loudly and proudly expressed the virtues of FMW here on sacred hallowed ground. And Bully has PCO. Cannonball senton! Will this be it? PCO pins Onita, no, 2 count. And the staying power of Onita has been just off the page, not just tonight, for decades. And likely will be any time we see Onita again. Bully slammed Leather. PCO disposed of Onita. And with a Dudley reunion coming this December, Bully and PCO give us an early preview. Only one thing left to do. The Bully Ray signature could seal the fate of Team FMW. And PCO has an implement of destruction, which has perhaps never been more dangerous than in the hands of Bully Ray. Onita is bleeding profusely. And Bully and PCO aren't satisfied with just one table. A second table on the outside has been set up. Oh, Bully has Leather. Don't tell me. Oh my God. PCO, you might want to think about this. PCO, put it on the line! And Leather gets obliterated through the table. It's Bully and Onita back in the ring. Oh, what a chance that was by PCO, but it sure seemed to pay off a hell of a lot. Onita, that barbed wire bat. You can never count Onita out, who's driving the barbs deep into the skull of Bully Ray. Onita peppering Bully with right hands. Look at him humiliate him. And Bully has Onita on top of the table. And Onita's spine absorbs all of the impact. Well, the table is not Bully's best friend today. But I'm not sure Bully will mind putting Onita through hell again and again. But Onita may have other ideas. Onita's found a chair, looking to fend for himself any way he can. Man, these men have just annihilated each other. Bully Ray is bleeding from the side of the head. Onita's got to be bleeding from a number of different locations on his head. Leather and PCO have staggered to their feet. They're still the worse off. Onita on the table. And Bully looking last rites to Team FMW. Onita through the table. But Onita kicked out. Atsushi Onita will not die. And Leather is choking the hell out of PCO. Both men are hurt on the outside. Hell, both men are hurt on the inside. Bully's got that chain again. Oh! Onita! Back to the Great Nita playbook with the blinding red mist. And a DDT. Keep in mind the damage done to the head this entire match. Bully maybe get cussed, but he still kicks out. Bully is blind. He is in pain. He probably can't think straight. He can barely move, but he knows to fight. God, see a second chair. Just cracked across the skull. My God, there's no way. I'm amazed Bully came back from the first one. And Atsushi Onita.
Winner, the team of FMW Leather and Atsushi Onita.
Atsushi Onita has pinned Bully Ray in the middle of the ECW arena. And it's a international statement for FMW regarding their place within the history of this sport. Onita has been through hell time and again. And now that this matchup is over, Onita slips back into that leather jacket. Maybe another cigarette in his future. Man, Onita, you can tell he's in pain from this matchup in his own right. Just moving, just putting a jacket on is incredibly challenging based on the fight that he has been through. But Onita will do it his way on his terms. And what a statement victory for FMW as we prepare for an Extreme Tribute in December. You can't forget about what FMW has meant to the entire Extreme movement over these entire several decades. As Onita tending to the wound of Bully Ray, nobody has left the ringside area. A handshake of respect from two sides that changed this sport forever. Let's hear from Atsushi Onita, a living legend.
PCO and Body Day, together come to Japan. I make sure you will exposure match in Japan. And I show you, I beat you. Okay, you come to Japan. Exposure matches, I show you! One time, please. FMW, okay? FMW. Alright. What is it? You come to Japan, I show you real exposure matches, okay?
A dubious and dangerous offer. Onita wants Bully and PCO in Japan for an authentic FMW explosion match.
Let me translate for them because they didn't understand a freaking word you said. So you want us to come to Japan and have an exploding barbed wire death match against you, right? That's fine. I just want to remind you of one thing. You won tonight. You were the better team tonight. But this is not FMW country. This will never be FMW country.
Never kill that spirit, Onita.
Whose house is this? BCO! Whose house? BCO! It's ECW, schmuck. All right, I tore my hamstring. I'm going to the hospital. I'm out.
Well, Bully's been through hell in this this night, but one thing is for sure, he couldn't leave without the last word and reminding everybody, this is the house.
Play Onita's music. I want to hear Wild Thing one more time.
The house of ECW, but showing his respect to Atsushi Onita. FMW defeats Team Extreme here tonight at Battleground Championship Wrestling, but it's all about Team Extreme. It's all about an Extreme tribute. December 17th, back on pay-per-view and live here at the ECW Arena. We hope to see you there. My name is Joe Dombrowski. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight for Turn Up the Heat and Battleground Championship Wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this evening.